Hi, I'm John Himmelman, and I write and illustrate children's books. And I'm also a naturalist. And since I like to make books about things that interest me, a lot of my books are about nature and animals. Thank you, Makes Point Nature Center, for collaborating on this with me. You do amazing work over there, and I'm honored to play a small part in your programming. Today's story is Who's at the Seashore? And it's originally published by Northward, and it's now put out by Globe Pequot, which is right next door in Guilford. And just a quick story about making this. I had done all the research for my illustrations uh, between Hammonasset Beach and Clinton Beach, as they're both next door to me. I live in Killingworth. And I was on Clinton Beach once, and I was looking for a specific animal called a sandhopper or a beach flea. They're little isopods, kind of related to the roly-polies you find under logs, and they hop. And I needed a good size one because if I'm going to illustrate this little thing, the bigger it was, the easier it would be to get the details. And I really blew this thing up big in the illustration, or that was my plan. And as I'm moving aside seaweed and flipping over the driftwood and all that, I noticed these two kids were watching me off in the distance. And I'd look at them, and then they'd look away to make, like they weren't looking at me. And eventually they got up the nerve and they walked up and they said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Well, I'm looking for sandhoppers." They said, "Oh, can we help?" I said, "Of course." So there we are, the three of us. We're flipping over stuff and we're finding sandhoppers. And I look over and there's a woman walking over with her two kids with her. She had an older daughter and a younger son. And she asked the same question. She says, "What are you guys looking for?" And I told her, and she says, "Oh, do you need help?" I said, "Of course, let's go." And so they start flipping the stuff over, and I step back and I look, and there's 5 people now looking for these sandhoppers. And it occurred to me what was happening then was exactly the outcome that I hoped that my books would spur. And that's to get someone out there to flip over logs and to explore and to find stuff. And here it was happening already, and I barely even got started. It was already a win. So, with that said, let's see who's at the seashore. Who's at the Seashore? Written and illustrated by John Himmelman. This is dedicated to the kids who helped me comb the beach for sandhoppers, and you heard about them earlier. Turnstone turns stones by the sea. And a turnstone, this is a ruddy turnstone, they're a shorebird that flips over rocks and other stuff looking for food to eat. This is rockweed, that stuff that's kind of fun to pop. You find it up on the shore. Ringbill gull watches quietly. Gull chases when sandhopper hops. And sandhoppers you find in the seaweed up on the shore. They're also called beach fleas, and they're related to the roly-polies, pill bugs that you find in your yard under rocks and logs. They're isopods. Moon snail wiggles by and stops. Moon snail lays eggs in the sand, and these are the eggs. It's a mixture of sand and mucus. And it's called a sand collar, and you'll often find them pretty close to the edge of the tide. Someone's coming. Horsefly finds a place to land. Horsefly flies as the tide comes in. Somebody's coming. Killifish swim fin to fin. Another name for killifish is mumachog, and you find them in tide pools. And just for fun, they're all going this way, but I had this one going in the opposite direction. There's always a rebel, even with the killifish. Killifish trapped in a pool. They're all trapped in there. Hermit crab joins them to get cool. And hermit crabs are cool. They find discarded shells that other mollusks have created and used, and they can use all different kinds of shells, and they kind of move in, and that's their home. And this particular shell is a whelk. Hermit crab hides from a curious eye. Sea star hunts for clams nearby. Sea stars, well, we used to call them starfish, but they're not fish, so they kind of got renamed sea stars. Two birds land quietly. We've seen them before. Do you remember who this is? Do you remember who this is? Turnstone, turnstone by the sea. We ended where we began. So go out to the beach and see what you can find. You'll probably find a lot of the same stuff that we had in this story.